especially on Big Brother. Man, I'm gonna miss hitting that shit by the end of this season. Unfortunately, yesterday I was doing a lot of moving around, so I missed Keanu's exit interview with Julie. So y'all already know I had to run the episode back as soon as it dropped today and watch just that portion. I did not care about anything else that was happening later on in the episode. In fact, while I was watching the episode last night, I already predicted what was going to happen. Morgan went on to win the HOH against Ava and Ashley. Shocker. And then she added a 5th veto to her belt. A handful of vetoes on the season is mad crazy. I can't say I didn't anticipate her winning the veto. I thought maybe Vince would get the veto, his first veto on the season. Clearly the nigga got bad luck with vetoes. I don't know what to tell. Morgan to go on and get all her wins post the jury's inception. Man, I don't know. I don't even know how the jury cannot respect her for going ahead and doing it. But before I get into the events of this episode, I do have to touch on this interview with Keanu and Julie, because you already know I'm devastated to see my boy out this house. Team Keanu is down bad right now. In his interview, Keanu talks where his game went wrong, how Jimmy hold him in week 1 and put this big target on his back. Goes on to talk about the sibling-like relationship he had with Rachel and Vince throughout the season. How similarly to how he was giving Vince chance after chance after chance in the house, that's how he is in real life. He really wanted to work with Vince. He wanted Vince to see that even through the mistakes he was making, he always had an ally in Keanu who'd always be there to be like, hey, bro, like, you messed up, but we're human. We can get past this, da-da-da-da. And close out the interview essentially saying that while he did go out because of his trusted nature, he'd rather go out playing his own game, playing as to who he was as a person, than having to change into somebody that he's not. And if that's how he ended up getting sent home, playing a game that is true to his own nature, then he can still go home as a winner. Now, Keanu lets us know in his interview that, yes, he is trusting to a fault, and that's ultimately what ended up costing him his game in the Big Brother house. But I more so think, as a lot of y'all have said in my comments, that Keanu just put a lot of his trust in the wrong people. Now, I don't think that as much about Rachel. I think that him putting the trust in Rachel actually helped his game towards the end. I don't think Keanu was able to make some of the moves he made in week 9 without Rachel being at his side throughout this season. I think because of him and Rachel's interactions, he was able to survive a lot longer. He developed somewhat of a social game. He was able to survive all the way to Final 5. The problem is Vince was right alongside, who was the other person that he thought he could trust. The other person he had some type of sibling-like relationship with. And that's the motherfucker you did not need to have no trust in. And that's why I feel little sympathy for Keanu in this situation, because it's like, bro, I get it. You mess with Vince. It's somebody that you wanted to work with. But he has sent home so many people that you said yourself you were aligned with earlier on in the season. Riley, Adrian, Kelly to a degree. Even though I heard Riley wasn't really the biggest fan of yours, still, like, those people you wanted to work with. And he had a hand in sending those people home, right? So when you see that, and then you see how he's doing his own allies, how do you think you can change? On top of that, you gave him multiple chances to change before week 11, Keanu. And he showed you that he is not on that type time. It's him and Morgan or nothing. Even when you switch up on Lauren, that didn't give you no indication in your head that he's not really playing the game as an ally to you. I don't think it's so much that Keanu's trusted nature lost him in the game. I just think that he put a lot of trust in the wrong people. I mean, he made it to Final 5. I think if it was anybody else in that HOH competition next to him, he would have locked in, but he really had trust in Vinny for whatever reason. And he also says he felt like he was safe, which to me is just so toned down. There's no way you can be in his house and not know how locked in Vince was with Morgan. Even if you did feel safe, Keanu, you should not feel safe with the resume you had in the house, especially playing with, again, an opportunistic ass Vinny. Definitely ashamed to see Keanu leave the house, but at least he was able to leave on his own merit. He played the game as he wanted to. He wasn't the perfect Big Brother player. He wasn't the perfect person in the house. But he'll be missed on mind if nobody else is. If there's no Keanu fans left on this earth, that means I have departed from the planet. All right, now let's get into this episode. Like I said, Morgan won the HOH and the veto. Not really much to talk about. He kept nominations the same, gave Vinny the sole vote to evict, and he evicted Ava. Now Ava is the 6th member of the jury, and it was Vince that sent her home, so it's really no blood on Morgan's hand. They could not have written a more clear-cut winner for this season at this point. There is absolutely no argument that Vince can have in a final 2 setting with Morgan that would get him this money. The sad situation, though, is that even if Vince goes on to win this last HOH and, for instance, sends Morgan home, that's not helping his case either. That was your #1 ally in the house. And Morgan stresses in this episode, never had to put you up on the block. So if you end up being the one to send Morgan home, you don't think she's going to tell the jury how you slimed her and reinforce what the jury already knows about how you slimed everybody else in this house? If you sit next to Ashley, she got all the judges' votes, and she's going to have Keanu's vote too, and Ava. It's already 6 votes, brother. You're finished. Even by the end of the episode, Vince is saying that. He's like, yeah, you know, I'm just here, really. I'm not going to get any votes in the end. Brother already knows what it is, man. Just sign that $750,000 check for Morgan at this point. Vince can't even play the comp card anymore. Morgan has more comp wins on the season than you know, and got it in crunch time, and got consecutive vetoes. 3 consecutive vetoes. Really would have been 4 straight vetoes too if Morgan got her units right on that one competition they was doing. But yeah, it's just no way Vince can win this season anymore, in my opinion. This is literally an Xavier type run out of Morgan right now, where it's just undeniable that if she makes it to the final 2 chairs, she is going to win that money. Wouldn't it be crazy if Ashley ends up winning the most important HOH on the season and sends Morgan home, though? That would be a great game move, and she don't even need to do that to win against Vince, if we being honest. Because like I laid out to you, she has the votes that Vince does not. Vince's jury management is trash. He wouldn't even get a pity vote from Lauren at this point. Also got Ava calling a roundtable in this episode too, just throwing even more dirt on Vince's name just for the love of the game. At this point, all Vince can hope for is to make it to them final 2 chairs to at least get $75,000 out of this game. Because by the end of it, he's not gonna have the money. He's not gonna have a girlfriend. He'd be lucky if he had Morgan, if we being honest. When he was talking to her in this episode, you would have thought Vince was vying to go home. Talk about some, oh, I would have had so many comp wins right now if you weren't in the game. And if Lauren was in the game, oh, she would be just as good as you at this point. Brother, shut up, man. Do you want to stay in this house or not? Why the hell are you dissing the current HOH right now who has all the power to put your ass up on the block if they want to? Andrew, she just won the veto just like an hour before y'all had this conversation. I didn't even put this on production either. You know how sometimes when you like somebody, you just say whatever comes first to your mind? That's where Vince was in that moment. He wanted to praise Morgan, but he also wanted to get his ego off at the same time. In that situation, brother, you got no choice but to praise. She's the HOH that just won the veto. Of course, Morgan's going to continue to play the game that she's played from the very beginning of the season, a loyal one. And that's why she's about to win this $750,000 by Sunday. There's apparently an episode of Big Brother tonight, so y'all will be getting a recap from me either tonight or tomorrow. I think it's going to be the episode with the house guys get together at the table. Talk about the good times in the season, how they all ended up here. Just talk about shit we don't care about before they get to the HOH competition by the end of the episode. I can just hope that Vince is not on some woe is me shit in this episode. Like, brother, please acknowledge that you are the reason why you are here. Just shut up and enjoy your time left in the Big Brother house. We not hearing none of that victim shit at this point. One more thing, if you ain't vote for Keanu for AFP yet, what are you doing? I better go lock that vote in right now.